Om Sadashivasamaramбхам Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, any questions, clarifications on what we have done up to now in this text? Are all clear? Okay. Okay. Then he says, the second line, Katam Smarami. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot.
Morning we were discussing limitlessness.
There's a mic just so that I can hear properly. I'm wearing my hearing aid, still I'm not being able to hear. Yeah, what is your question?
Limitlessness.
Is it on?
Limitlessness is also consciousness.
Yeah.
Logic, I didn't understand.
The human being is consciousness.
No, limitlessness is itself.
I will come to that. I will explain that further in the following thing. How consciousness is limitless. Because consciousness is described as formless. Formless means what? See, we are used to in school and college to hear the description of amoeba as formless. Amoeba is not formless, it's got a form. It is shapeless. Formless means no boundaries. If there are no boundaries, there are no limits. If there is no limits, what is it? Limitlessness, exactly.
How that is consciousness?
Because you're describing I. We started with that, remember, everything is based on I. Mind, this, that, etc. is based on I. Yeah. That's why I said I followed two steps for it. One is in terms of existence, one is in terms of who am I. Came back to consciousness. You are the one who's aware of everything. The one who's aware of everything is awareness, consciousness. So that is the thing. So I'm conscious of everything. I'll elaborate that more. Don't worry. Okay, this is in a nutshell. I'm giving it to you. I'll elaborate it more. Okay. Okay. Then the question comes up. Katam smarami tam ameyam ekam. Tam ameyam. Okay. That which cannot be measured or seen in a subject-object relationship. Yeah. How to think about it? So here is where the whole pramana comes into the picture. There is no way you can know yourself unless someone points out who you are. It has to come from a source other than you. Why? Intelligent person, you have 5 means of knowledge with yourself. First, basic perception, the most important of them all. Seeing, hearing, etc. If the self had a form, that would work. But the self does not have a form, so that won't work. Then inference comes into the picture. For inference to work, you need perceptual data. It is not available for perception, therefore no perceptual data is available. Any data that is available for inference as well as presumption. Presumption is your deductive logic, 2-step, 3-step, 4-step in terms of inference. For both of them, perceptual data becomes important. All perceptual data I have about myself is my experience of finitude, my experience of things other than me, my experience of the world, my experience of my body, my thoughts, my emotions, my energy systems. We are talking about the I that's witnessing the whole thing. Therefore, no data available. So none of these systems will work. Then there is 2 other means of knowledge available for me. One is comparative learning. A lot of our learning happens is the comparison. Like somebody is going to USA. I say, are you going to any of those wildlife park? Yeah. Go. Have a look at the bison. Very interesting animal. Bison, what is that? Now, how to tell him what a bison is? If I had a photograph on my phone, I would have shown him, but I don't have that photograph. Then I say, our water buffalo, North India call it gained or something, no? Water buffalo. You've seen it in Bahubali, the movie, Bahubali 2. It looks something like that. So he goes there. Now, a bison is not a water buffalo, they're different. But there are a lot of similarities. So, based on the similarities, Upamati Jnanam, he understands, oh, this must be the bison Swamiji was talking about. This is comparative learning. Similarly, we compare a lot of things and we understand learn. A lot of learning in science also happens with comparison. What are you going to compare the Atma with? I. I have to compare with not I. There is no object of comparison available. Then the last one is cognizing things which are not there. Is Suresh here? No, he is not here. How do you know he is not here? Is it because you saw him? It is not perception. Why? For perception, light has to be reflected from his body to my eyes. He is not here to reflect the light. So, keeping Suresh in my mind, I look around. I don't see a form that fits that. This is called cognizing things which are not there. Anupalabdhi. We are talking about the present. That is good for what is not there. But I am always there. I know I am. So, all the five means are not enough to know myself. So, here is where the sixth means comes in. We call it Shabdam, the word. That is the Upanishads, the Gita, in short, Vedanta. Veda is the Shabda Pramana, but Veda deals with a lot of other things also. So, the last section of the Veda, called Vedanta, deals with self-knowledge. Okay? Anta, the end of the Veda. Okay? Not end of knowledge, etc. End of the Veda only. Okay, keep it that way. It's a positional name. And how important the positional name is, etc., you will understand when we do the Brahma Sutras. There the positional name becomes very important, Bhinna Prakaranam, etc., for all that arguments. So, Vedanta. So, Shabda is a pramana. Why don't I read and understand? Because through finite words, you have to reveal the infinite. So, words are finite in nature. How are you going to reveal the infinite with finite words? There is a methodology of teaching for that. That is called Sampradaya. So, the Sampradaya of teaching makes it feasible. There's a way of using words. Okay? There's a way of using words where the limitation of one word is knocked off by another word. Okay? It is not descriptive. It's important to understand this. Because if it is descriptive, you could read and understand. But any description will make it finite. Describe the ashram. Finite. Huh? Any description, in fact, will fall short of the ashram. Describe this pen. Start. Describe it. Says white and silver and blue in color. That. You will give some description, which is good as far as the pen is concerned. A description is possible. Why? Because available for your perception, number one. Even if it is not available, someone says, Swamiji, the dhobi is come to pick up your clothes. Oh, here is a key. Open the room. The room is here. Open it. In the room, on this chair, I have kept those clothes packed, ready for description of what? Finite things. Any description will always be about finite things. And there's another issue coming with Shabda. Shabda Pramana can give you, words can give you direct knowledge or indirect knowledge. Supposing I were to tell you all, hey, This June, I'm taking a trip to Gomukh. Any of you like to come? Samji, Gomukh, what is that? The guy who doesn't know anything about Gomukh, he has not heard of Gomukh. So I described, oh, it's the source of the Ganga. This huge cave. And the Ganga flows out of it. The cave is Gomukh. Oh. Is it direct knowledge or indirect knowledge? For those who have been there, it is direct knowledge, it's memory. For those who have not been there, it's indirect knowledge. So I've seen many people looking at all the movies and things like that. Imagine there's a face of a cow there. Gomukh is a Vastu description. Gomukh is for a description for a cave, for a plot of land. You use the word Gomukh. Gomukh means entrance is small, but it expands afterwards. Or you have Sumhamukaha, where the entrance is as big as the land below. Okay? Like here, the entrance, the whole thing is open. This is Sumhamukha. Now we are trying to make it Gomukha by blocking off the other things. Because Gomukha is supposed to be very good. Okay? So remember, these are Vastu descriptions. But it's a description. Therefore, if the object is away from you, indirect knowledge. Hey, this is a pen, it's a gel pen, it writes very well. Indirect knowledge or direct knowledge? Direct, because it's right in front of you. Atma is direct or indirect?
Direct and indirect.
Direct, that's why I said, do you know I am? I am is self-evident. No? There cannot be anything more direct than I am. So you will give indirect knowledge or direct knowledge. Either you will know direct, you don't know because you didn't understand, or you understood it a bit vaguely. So all not understanding to understanding will fit within this. You will never get indirect knowledge of the Atma. There is no, okay, aparoksha vastunaha, for a direct knowledge, object which is directly in, okay, paroksha jnanam nasti. There cannot be indirect knowledge for a direct object. Atma is the most direct thing in the world. You cannot have indirect knowledge. What they mean in some books, etc., if you have read it, indirect knowledge means vague knowledge. Okay? It's vague. That's all it means. Okay? Or some books say, Asti iti jnanam paroksha jnanam. Atma is there. Even that cannot be paroksha. Why? I am there. Indirect, eh? How do you say you are there? Because somebody told me you exist? No, I didn't know whether I exist or not. Because he told me I believe him, I exist. Is that true? I got married, therefore I exist. You can ask, why do you exist? To keep her happy. How do you exist? Because of my father-in-law. Those things you can say. I'll understand that. Yeah. But I exist, I am. Direct. You cannot have indirect knowledge. Therefore, the words will give you direct knowledge of the Atma. And how is his knowledge? He says, Katam smarami tam ameyakam. How do you think of that? Tasya smriti tasya drida eva nishta. To think of it is to be it. Think meaning understand, recognize. To recognize the Atma is to be the Atma. Why? This is the difference between this knowledge and any other knowledge. You have knowledge of the book. Do you become the book? You have knowledge of the pen. Do you become a pen? Samji, my wife says you are an open book for me. Not really. Does she know everything about you? Samji, don't talk. Yeah, she better not know. You and your marriage is surviving on what she doesn't know. Joking, okay, I'm not against marriage. I'm just making it a joke. Because one of my students was joking like this, and this young girl, she very much wanted to get married because she wanted to be a mother. So she comes and asks me after that, Samji, are you really against marriage? So many of your jokes are on marriage. No, Baba, I think everyone should get married. At least 90% of the people should get married. Why? So that I have one more house to go and say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Okay. Jokes apart. The idea is that you are the most direct thing in the world. So the knowledge of this is not subject object related. There is no subject object. What you want to know and what you want to be is one and the same. Why do you want to know the Atma? Well, come here. Why do you want to know? Samjhi, because I want to be happy, fulfilled, etc. The only reason for studying Vedanta is to be a happy, fulfilled being. Because Vedanta, are you going to get a job after studying Vedanta? Are you going to get can you go to your HR and say, I got a certificate of a 1-year course in Vedanta. Please enhance my salary. If you have a 1-year diploma in management, you can ask that. So you have upgraded my skills. Vedanta kya hai? They don't know that Vedanta can make you more competent at work. That part of it they don't know. But okay. But you can't ask. What does it help you? Food, clothing, shelter? Bhiksha milega. Nothing more than that. You will become a rich man by knowing Vedanta. You'll be like me. Okay, take hai. You want to be rich? Start your own religion. Then you will become rich. The real guru is an uneducated guru. Why? Then you can talk any nonsense and get away with it because the real gurus are the dongi. He's a good man. He does a lot of good work. I respect him for. But this part of it, I disagree with. Other things, he's doing very good work. Okay, yeah, like the Kaveri, the reforestation program, the revival of the river, excellent work. Hats off to him on that. Okay, yoga part of it, very good. Though I wish he acknowledged his this lifetime guru. This lifetime guru is Rishi Prabhakar. 80% of what he teaches in public is based on Rishi Prabhakar's teaching. But he doesn't acknowledge Rishi Prabhakar. He talks about past life, Parani Guru and all, because past life you can't verify anyway. Anyway, so how do you think? Without subject object, you're going to understand this. Ready for some technicalities? Okay. The newcomers, are you ready to get a bit technical? Okay. All right. Good. When you know something, one unit thought, book. Book thought, you will know book. Pen thought, you will know pen. Rope thought, you will know rope. Snake thought, will be snake. But if what is there is rope and you get a snake thought, it is no more knowledge, it's error. It's called Brahma, not Prama. In Tamil, be careful. Brahma, Prama, everything sounds the same. Prema will come Brema. Prema is a good name. Brema kya hai? Anyway, that is the part. So, book thought. Okay. But why how then if it is one unit thought, how did that error come into the picture? No, that's not enough light, etc. Really? Because so your eyes are like a camera. So if there's not enough light, it won't capture. Then what should come on the screen? Low light, low light, low light. Why did you think of snake? Samaji, that's because you're afraid of snakes. No, I come from Mallu land, Kerala. We love snakes. In my house in Kerala, there are 2 sarpa cows. 2 temples for snakes. And we see nice huge cobras and all, and we go to see. Wow, beautiful. Oh, Om Nageshwaraya Namaha, etc. So there can be 100 psychological reasons, but one fundamental reason is you did not know what is there. Therefore, you used a pramana, unit perception. In that unit perception, 2 operations take place. One, the mind has to take the form of the object. This is to remove the distance between you and the object, either by time, space, or ignorance. That thought has to be there. Rope. Plus, you have to objectify it. That is to establish your connection as seer seen, your connection with the knowledge. 2 operations. First is called vritti vyapti. Vritti vyapti. Your vritti vyapakam, taking the form of the object, pervading the object, or taking the form of the object. It's called vritti vyapti. Okay. Second is phala vyapti, that which will give you the phalam of knowledge by objectifying, subject object. Now, the subject matter under discussion here is the Atma. You are using the Upanishad, the Veda Pramana, to know it. Does vritti vyapti have to take place? Because you are away from this. You are not away from that Atma in terms of time and space, but you are away in terms of ignorance. So for the ignorance to go, that vritti vyapti has to take place. Your mind has to take the form of the Atma. What is the form of the Atma? Formlessness, consciousness. No? It's formless consciousness. So the mind, the thought actually is a resolving thought. If the thought is there, it has to be there. In the form of the Atma. After that, is a subject-object relationship possible? Formlessness, what subject-object relationship? Is it necessary to establish a relationship between the knowledge and you? No, because I am is already known. That relationship is already established as I am. The problem is only in what I am. मैं कौन हूँ? मैं ऐसा क्यों? That also is asked. Anna Raskala, I am like this only. This is Tamil Nadu, okay? So that dialogue is important. That's Rajnikant's dialogue, okay? In fact, you go outside and ask, Dayananda Ashram, enna ashram adu? Rajnikant Ashram. Theriyum. There. Your taxi driver said that. So, enna Raskala, why am I like this only? Yeah, the question, why, is the ignorance part. So, the second operation is not necessary nor possible. That means what? You are listening to the teaching, you are that pure conscious. After that, what? Tasya dridayeva nishta. To think of it is to be it. Katam smarami tam ameyam ekam. Tasya smriti tasya dridayeva nishta. To think of it is to be it. But you need to think, that thought has to come. That's why the teaching becomes necessary. That's why the Upanishad becomes necessary, the Pramana becomes necessary. It is not sitting down by yourself. Somebody said that, when you went to Ramana, he had a simple thing. Swamiji, what is this? Find out who is asking that question. He was not a teacher, he didn't teach. He was the greatest wise man of the century. But he never taught, because he didn't bother to pick up the sampradaya of teaching. He knew the truth. Because of Purva Janma, he was a Yoga Prashta previous lifetime. Only one small step was necessary. He heard the word Arunachala, left home. After that death experience, left home, came to Tirunamalai. Stayed there. Contemplating on the word Arunachalaha. Arunascha, Achalascha. It is in the form of light consciousness. Achalaha, immovable. What is immovable? Everything moves. Only the limitless cannot move. So limitless consciousness, he understood that. Why? Previous lifetime he had done all the studies necessary. This lifetime only this much was left. One step was left. Otherwise, who will get this knowledge is 13, 14? The earliest people I have known who have walked off was a 16-year-old boy. Okay. We all of us owe a lot to him. He walked out of home because he had heard some kathakar came and said how Dhruva saw God, etc. मेरे को भी देखने का है. He was in a village in Haryana. He walked off and came to Rishikesh. There he met Swami Vishnu Devananda. He said, I come. So Vishnu Devananda understood what the thing was. He said, I will show you God. But will you listen to all that I say? Tapas kar raha hu. I will do. You go, join the Sanskrit college, finish your studies. I will give you a letter of recommendation. He studied up to Acharya's, and then he joined the ashram and studied full time. You know whom I'm talking about? Swami Taranandagiri. He told me the story himself. I studied for 6 years under him. Yeah. There, his photograph is there with the headgear on right and front. So that is the earliest I have seen someone walking off in my personal experience. But he didn't get it at 16. He had to go through the process of learning this thing. Ramana was a yoga prashta. In the Gita yoga prashta we see, if you have died in one lifetime before you get the knowledge, next lifetime you'll pick it up. So one small step was remaining for him. So that he got it. Therefore, you need that learning. What I'm highlighting is nobody sits and meditates and gains the learning. This is, I will never get tired of highlighting this factor. What about the Buddha? Buddha was a very interesting man, a prince who has walked out. Tell me, which ashram will want someone like that staying permanently in the ashram? The ashram will become a media circus. Tomorrow, if our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a great seeker, okay? He came to Swamiji in Rishikesh when I was there and said, I want to study from you. And it was Puja Swamiji who asked him to get into politics. One of the people. There's another person from Ramakrishna Mission also. But asked him to get into politics. Says, you will do good for the country, get that. So, I have 10 years I've done my job. Now I want to come and study. Maharaj ji, आपके आश्रम बॉम्बे में मैं आ रहा हूँ. What will happen to the ashram? People will be able to sit down quietly and study. I'll have to have hired guns with guns to keep the media out. It'll become a media circus. So, Swamiji, I'll give you the link. Every class of mine, I will send a Zoom link for you. Please attend on Zoom. Not that he's going to come to me. No. There are other popular teachers. I'm like, altu faltu. Mandaleshas, he knows. Avidesh Anandji and all, he knows all this. Juna Akada Mandale. हम लोग तो चलता फिरता साधु है. Small catch. We have small fry. Okay. Small fry as far as position is concerned. Okay. So Buddha was like that. Nobody wanted him permanently in any setup because he'll become a media. That time also there was a media circus. Okay. Not that media circus is something new. There were reporters then also. There may not have been published papers, but those dimas were there. No. So he would go, learn, come back. And he had a favorite tree where he used to sit and contemplate. Okay. Then go learn some more, come back. Go learn some more, come back, think, why did Swamiji say like that? Why did he say like that? And one day under the Bodhi tree, it all clicked for him. Okay. But what clicked? What he had learned is like laughing for a joke half an hour later. Hota hai na? I told you that elaborate story. My students are fed up of hearing the story from me. So it clicked. So any person who claims to have gained it in Samadhi, it clicked. That's all. Samadhi by itself will not give you. That's why there are two types of Samadhi, those of you who are into yoga. Then Andha Samadhi by a person who does not know anything. He will go into the samadhi as a state of experience, come out of it as a state of experience. Shankara says, Ramana says that later on. Or you are full of knowledge, you have learned enough. Then you go into that, it'll ram home the point clearly. That is Jnana Samadhi, Jnana Lakshana Samadhi. That is different. That is what we do in Nididhyasanam. Okay? Nididhyasanam can fulfill into Samadhi, need not fulfill into Samadhi. Okay? Oh, I don't have that experience. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do it. Nididhyasanam is good enough. But in Nididhyasanam also is like this. Katam smarami tam ameyam ekam. How do you think about it? To think of it is to be it. But to think of it, you should know it. No? So who can do Nididhyasanam? Someone who's already listened enough of Shravanam has done. Shravana Mananam has done, then Nididhyasanam will work, not otherwise. Nididhyasanam is owning up the knowledge. Swami Chinmayanji used to say, he's also there now. What has gone in through the ears should sink into the heart. Otherwise, it leak from the mouth. You'll talk about it. Swami Chinmayanji's words. It'll leak through the mouth. So own it up. And what is owning up? How you make a rasagulla. Make the rasagulla first. Then you put it into sugar syrup. The sugar syrup is not a dip. It's not hummus. Then you put a dip and you eat it. No, you soak it in until the rasa permeates the gulla. So if you're diet conscious and you take it and you squeeze the sugar out and eat it, it is still sweet. Similarly, you become the rasagulla. You steep yourself in this knowledge. This camp is part of that being rasagulla, okay? Why? You are steeped in this knowledge. Morning, afternoon, evening. You don't get a break, na? Except for afternoon for a couple of hours. Na? We keep you on the job. Why? Steeping yourself in this knowledge. So that when you go back home and life challenges rings you, you're still fine. Yeah, that's the whole learning. Therefore, katam smarami tamayam eyamekam. To think of it is to be it. You soak yourself into it until you and the knowledge are one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Katam smarami. Okay. Then, normally people would have put any ordinary writer. Ordinary writer in Vedanta, that's extraordinary person. Okay. One of my old, I met some of my old batchmates. Which batchmates? Before I joined the ashram. 76 I joined the ashram. So the people whom I knew before that. Some of you may have not been born that time. Okay. So they said, you're a Swami, but I'm including you into our WhatsApp group. I said, kar lo. Itna group hai phone ko upar. One more group doesn't make a difference. Anyway, at the end of the day, half the time I'm just deleting without looking at everything. So, some I look into it. And then I respond also. I put a thumbs up or something like that. So I saw a message. How long does it take for an average person to become a sailor? Answer. An average person will never become a sailor. How long does it take for an average person to be a Vedanta teacher? It's almost the same. Why am I saying almost the same? Because if you are, in Kathopanishad said, Kushalena sishtaha, kusale anukshishtaha. If you are a competent person and taught by a competent teacher, competent person means what? Sadhana chatusha, viveka, vairagya, ityadi you have. And taught by a sampradaya with acharya, Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. Shrotriya means sampradaya with, okay, who knows the tradition of teaching. Then there is no reason why you can't be one. Okay. Yeah. But it's not average. You have to have the qualifications. That's why I'm saying not average. But an average person can gain the qualification. Take some time. That's all. Live, work, fall in love, teaches you a lot of things. I fell in love, didn't work out. It will teach you a lot more. Yeah, it'll teach you a lot more. Get married. Someone get married. Yeah. If you're happy, then you're fine. If you're not happy, you can become a philosopher. No? Socrates. He said that. So see, you an ordinary man on the street also can become a competent student of Vedanta. Yeah, not denied. Vedanta is not elitist. But yeah, it is addressed to the Adhikari. So that much you need to work on. And then learn. Ensure. Pray that you get a Sampradaya with Acharya. What else can I say? How do you get one? I can't say I am Sampradaya with. I don't know. I can say they are Sampradaya with who is standing there. As I said, giving me tough looks. They are also happy because they also used to joke when they teach. Yeah. So in that process, to think of it is to be. Then I started with saying normal people would have written the second verse first. Why? The second verse is prayer for Ishvara, for the fulfillment of this. The first verse was a statement of what I'm going to teach in the whole section. Second verse is a prayer to Ishvara to for the completion of the work, etc. There are a lot of reasons, invoke Ishvara, because one thing is necessary. Without God's grace, nothing works out. In the world action, without Ishvara Anugraha, nothing can work out. In Hindi, there is a statement. Allah Meherban to Gadda Pelwan. Okay? If Lord has blessed you, even maybe a donkey, but you'll become the king. Pelwan, you'll become the champ. Yeah, God's blessing is there, everything works out. So invoke the God. So what do you do for God's blessing? Not keep your fingers crossed. No, say a prayer. Prayer is to earn the grace of the Lord, to earn your luck, as you call it. So prayer. So he's quoting, he's indicating rather, Markandeya in this. He says, Mrityunjayam Mrityu Shritanam Aham Matim, Mrityunjayam Mrityu Shritanam Aham Mati Mrityumupaiti Purvam Atas Swabhavad Amruteshu Teshu Kanam Katam Punah Mrityu Diyo Vakashaha. So Markandeya was destined to die early. The great soul, but he was destined to die early. So, on the day Yama came to take him, he goes and hugs the linga. Okay? That's why he says, Mrityunjayam. One of the names for Shiva is Mrityunjayaha, one who has conquered death. So, Mrityu Bhyat, out of fear of death, I surrendered to the victor of death, to the god of death himself. Okay? Then what happens? Aham mati upaiti purvam, mrityu upaiti purvam. The ahankara goes away. Ahankara is gone. Ahankara is all your false notions about ourselves. Now, ahankara you can describe technically, but understand what the ahankara is. There is I, the consciousness, correct? And in your mind, there is ignorance of the I. You are aware I am, but you don't know what you are. Can you remain without any conclusions? I don't know. Can you do anything if you don't know who you are? I'm sitting. Complete amnesia, let us say. I don't know who I am. Then, are you not feeling hungry? There's some feeling. First conclusion, I am body. It has come automatically, isn't it? Then I was going to eat. Then on the basis of dress, मैं साधु है क्या? You cannot but make conclusions. Self-awareness, I am, plus self-ignorance will lead to conclusions. Self-conclusions. These self-conclusions, these self-concepts are what we call ahankara. Ahankara is your conceptual self. All that you take yourself to be. I am like this only. That I am like this only is ahankara. I am a mortal, ahankara. Surrender to Shiva. Saddarshanam Samarambham. Shankaracharya Madhyamam. The teaching. You surrender to Shiva, what do you get? The teaching. So, the highest form of surrender is to get your identity between you and Ishvara. That's the learning, that's the teaching. That is why he says, Atha Swabhavat Amruteshu Teshu. Now, you're given up your conscience, recognize your pure consciousness. Ishvara, pure consciousness. Okay, then what? Katam Puna Mrityu Dhiyo Avakasha. How can there be any fear of death after that? Your limitless consciousness. But some your body is aging, it'll die. Of course, it'll die. Body is meant to die. It's not I am dying. I am the consciousness. Body is dying. Yeah. Let it die. Let it die. Yeah. Ramana had cancer. So all his devotees and gave him treatment. He said, I'm not going to go anywhere from here. I'm here only. So they got someone Ayurveda to treat. So the Ayurvedic doctor is treating his sore. He had a sore on his shoulder. He's laughing at him and saying, how long do you want to keep this body going? The body is already old and useless. Yeah. What more you want to keep it going? Yeah. Yeah. Tapon Maharaj. Swamiji will take you down to. Swami Chinmayanji said that. Take you down to Delhi for treatment, etc. For what? Body is supposed to go. Is that what Vedanta you learned from me? That you should take me for treatment? See, you recognize your time is up. No, time is up. Yeah. So sadhus are not supposed to take health insurance, life insurance. Hey, as practicalities, if somebody is taking it, it is fine. I am not. Why? Yoga Kshema Mahamiham. Krishna has said that. Samji, what if you fall old and useless? Yeah, old and useless who wants to give trouble to others? Sit in Samadhi and go, na? Go where? Mrityunjaya, you're one with the consciousness. Where you're going anywhere, you're going everywhere. You're being limitlessness. This is the height of. How can there be fear of death after that? Once you surrender to Ishvara, to the consciousness, Ishvara, this surrender to Ishvara is understanding that Ishvara and you are one and the same as pure consciousness. We'll elaborate that later. It comes. That is the real surrender. Okay. Any other surrender is an attempt. Okay. You go and surrender. What? Relative surrender now. Okay. I'm talking of relatively. Go and surrender to your guru. Okay. I went and surrendered. Samajhi. I want to be your Sishya if you'll accept me. I'll be happy to accept you. Fine. Bol diya na? Bola. Okay. Finished. Done. I don't have to remind him every day he's my guru. He doesn't have to remind me every day I'm your Sishya. Your word is my command. What is it? Learning, I'll understand fully. Anything you want done, I'll do. Kam ho gaya. Finished. Surrender is one. It's not like a marriage where every day you have to say 3 times a day at least I love you. That is appropriate in a marriage. You better, okay? Because you need reassurance. At that level, you need some reassurance. Here you don't. Surrender is once. Otherwise, it'll be like this. You know that famous arati hai na? Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Tana Mana Dhana Sab Tera Tera tere arpana swami, kya laghe mera. It's a popular arati. I'm sure all of you in Tamil Nadu has heard of it. Okay, my tan, my man, my tan, offer to you, Lord. After all, it is yours. What do I have to offer you? I am offering what is yours to you. ठीक है. भगवान looked at him. एक बंदा लाइन पर आ गया अभी. One character has come home. Count. He's happy. Next day he comes and says the same thing. Tana mana dhan. अभी भगवान का मन में डाउट आ गया. भगवान करेंगे. What is this? How many tan and how many man does he have to offer? But benefit of doubt has to be given to the weaker party. So बराबर note किया. नाक निशाना, all that, you know. Description. The guy was. Next day again. Tana mana dhana sab tera. What's wrong with these characters? Then Parvati tells him, Shiva, you are Bhola only. In North India, you call Shiva Bholenath. Bhola means very simple guy, you know, straightforward, simple, no nonsense. What Bhola hi hai aap? Why? They are human beings, Baba. They don't know how to surrender. They are trying to surrender. That is trying. It is good that you are trying, okay? It's good. Because hopefully one day it will become true. With all the attitude will develop, etc. And so I'm not dismissing that. But I'm trying to make you understand. I'm trying to make you understand. What is the difference? Surrender is one. Once you do it, it's fine. Done. Okay. Practically also that is true. 50 years ago, more than 50 years, 1771, there is a small part in it. The Pakistani army surrendered to Lieutenant General Singh Jagit Arora. Signed. Niazi signed. After that, next day, I'm surrendering again. Yeah, already surrendered yesterday, now get lost, you are my prisoner of war. Finish, ho gaya kaam na. Niazi was very happy. Khali ek din bola na. Humiliation for me. There it is humiliation for him because he lost the war. Yeah. But you don't surrender every day. It's impractical. Okay? Yeah. Similarly, Vedanta, he went to Guru and said, I'm Guru. Finish, ho gaya kaam. So be careful whom you say you're Guru. Okay. Yeah. Ishvara even more so. Surrender is to recognize. He and I are one and the same. Okay, relatively to recognize his Ishvara totality. Uska baad kaise? What is there every day to say? Parama Bhakta Hanumanji. Okay. He met Rama. The moment he met, he said, this is my Lord and Master. Fine, surrender. After that, did he go and tell every day to Rama, you're my Lord and Master. Hey, you're my Lord and Master. In fact, Rama asked him after the whole Ramayana was over, the story was over. They've gone back to Ayodhya, Pattabhishekam is over. Hanumanji, without you, none of these things would have happened. How do you relate yourself to me? Deha drishtya to dasoham, from the standpoint of this body, you're my Lord and Master. I'm your sevaka. Dasa means seva. Sevaka. You know. Jiva drishtya, as a sense of as an individual. You're the totality. Tom Amshika, I am part of you. Ishvara is the totality. I'll explain that also more for the beginners. Ishvara is the totality. I am part of the one. Vastu buddhya, from the standpoint of the reality, you and I are one and the same. Iti me nishchit matihi. Parama Bhakta or Jnani? The wise person. His functioning was Dasaha. Yeah. Functioning is Dasaha. Here, yeah. That function you do what you want. How do you want? Depending upon your strength and talents. Depending upon your strengths, you function. Now, how do you function in the world? Depending upon your strengths. Yeah. What you can do, what you can't do. Yes, sir.
Just wanted to ask you that once this surrender has happened or we think it's happened, then what is the role of prayer every day?
Yeah, we'll come to it. He himself explains that. The role of prayer, etc. And very often it's trying to surrender. It's trying to. Like this arati that you sing every day. Because every day you're, at least for a few minutes, you're bringing that value of surrender into your mind so that in time it can become a natural thing. A natural thing. Yeah. So, okay. What up to what time is the class? 12:30, right? Yeah. Okay, so. Okay. Now, huh? 12:45 is lunch. Okay. Oh, I have time up to then. Oh, very good. Nice. Okay. So, okay. Okay. Katham. Therefore, if the surrender is good in terms of the knowledge, then there is no. Yes, you have a question? Yeah.
There is this Aitreya verse that I was one, may I become many. That verse is there.
Yeah.
So first of all, how can such a desire
Appear as many.
May I? It is appear.
Not become, appear as many.
Okay.
It has to be understood like that. Like one water appearing as a million waves. Appear. May become many. He said that. Bohusyam praja. That is, may appear as a many.
Corollary of that. First of all, how can such a desire appear in Nishkriya Brahman?
There are two things in that statement.
The corollary of that is, here it is saying that, you retain your immortal nature. But let's say everything happens and you are established in your nature, and if Brahman again thinks, may I become many, will you get projected again?
Okay, good question. You know this is a pen. Can you become ignorant of the pen again? This pen. Not some other pen, this pen. No, no. Once knowledge is there, it cannot go. Similarly, if you know the truth, you cannot be projected. Who is projecting what is a question? So there, that statement, may become many, is made not to be taken literally. It is made to show that Ishvara is a conscious entity. It is not unconscious material. Atoms and molecules coming together to form this world. It is not like science, which says science is materialistic. Materialistic meaning material has become the world. Super dense material, Big Bang, it has become the world. That's a current theory in a nutshell. Okay, this is not like that. This is, that's whatever you call as material, Sat, that was there before creation, was a conscious entity to show that he says Bahusyam Prajayet. Somewhere else it will be said so Akamayata. Okay, so there are 2-3 different types of statements, all to indicate that it's consciousness that is manifesting. So, is a manifestation real? Is there a real creation? It's a manifestation. Let us say this kurta has been created. Is the kurta separate from the cloth? At the end of it, this whole camp, I want a Guru Dakshina from you all. Make me a kurta without any material. Possible? No, no. So that is the thing. It is not creation. It's just a manifestation. So it's an appearance. There is no real creation. Now the whole world is very difficult to equate. But hopefully by the end of this, some insights will be there, minimum. Yeah. So there's no, you're not going to be projected again. Yeah. Because the projection itself is saying, I am the reality. Let us say you're born again. If you're born without this knowledge, means you didn't get the knowledge. You're already ignorant, and the ignorant born is born again. That we have gone through many lifetimes. I have remembered lifetimes up to 5,000-6,000 years ago, my personal. Every lifetime I was ignorant. Half a dozen lifetimes I remember I was ignorant. There were great teachers around me, but I was not interested in Vedanta at that time. I was an idiot. Samaji, how can you say you're an idiot? That's why I want this lifetime. I mean, idiot means ignorant one. Everyone born is ignorant. Now you gain the knowledge. So you're not going to be born again because knowledge cannot go. For the argument's sake, let us say you're going to be born with the knowledge. The more difference does it make? You're given another chance to enjoy the world. Chalo, go. Enjoy the world, it's full of suffering. Who says full of suffering? You are Ananda. Like these two people went through a very difficult parikrama. Narmada Panchakosha parikrama. Whole day no food. No tea, coffee, nothing. No food. Evening, you will reach some tribal hamlet or some ashram, they will give you some dal rice. Not sambar, not sprouts, not vegetables, not rotis. Just dal rice. Did you enjoy it or not enjoy it? Your feet are tired and blistered. Your shoulders are aching, carrying all that luggage, backpack. Food you wouldn't want to eat like that at home. At home, you would eat minimum 3 times with a couple of snacks in between. None of that. But you enjoyed it. So life is problems. If you are Ananda, maja hi aayega. If you are Ananda, Ananda is going through a difficult situation. Ananda is going through a happy situation. Ananda is going through a mess. But you are Ananda all the time. What difference does it make? Situation is messy. Or situation is tough. Situation is challenging. And situation is very pleasant. Situation is joyful. But you are Ananda all the time. Experiences are changing. You are always Ananda. What difference does it make? Just for argument's sake. You don't, but just for argument's sake. What difference does it make? Anando. In fact, if I speak like this, some people will say, yeah, I want to come back with the knowledge to see how life would be. Ananda all the time. Nothing changes. And then he is making another statement. Okay? Very powerful statement this is. Sarvendram jagato hamascha vachya prabhu kaschadapar shakti चित्रेत्र लोकोयम विलोकिता च पटः प्रकोशो अपि भवतस्व एकः अभवत्स एकः सर्वे ही निंदनम जगतो अहमश्च वाच्यः. There is a world and there is me. Correct? Everyone sees Meuna, Jagat, whatever it is there. I am experiencing. Therefore, we understand there must be some Prabhu, Apara Shakti. Some Prabhu, Apara Shakti. This is accepted by most people. Okay? Lord, क्या दुनिया बनाया? बॉम्बे ट्रेन्स दुनिया बनाने वाला है काय को ये दुनिया बना. Why did you make this world so full of? So some Prabhu Apara Shakti is instinctively recognized, or you come to a religious belief, and you study this. Okay, we're keeping it at the religious level right now. Kaschit Prabhu Apara Shakti. Any religion you go to, some idea of Ishvara is there. No? Maybe a mature idea, maybe an immature idea, maybe a violent idea, but some idea is there. Okay? Maybe a compassionate God, maybe a jealous God, but some idea of God is there. And God must be wondering what these characters are thinking of me like this. Okay. So we create our own ideas of God, religious ideas of God we create. Kaschadapara Shakti. Okay. He's not, later on we'll go into what is God, etc. But right now only this much. He says, Chitre atra lokoya milokitacha patah prakasho api abhavatsa ekaha. This is those big wall painting that you would come. Knitted paintings. You create a scene out of pure knitting. You must have seen all this in artwork. The whole thing is knitted. So there is a whole world, a marketplace scene, and there's one character who's looking at the whole thing. There also must be thinking, there must be some apara shakti here. What is that apara shakti here? The thread. Pataha ayam, he says, the cloth. Okay? Pataha prakashaha api abhavat. The marketplace. The one who's seeing that world, the light in which it is seen. Because in the painting, what is seen? Okay? In this light, you're seeing the painting. But in the painting, there's some guy seeing the world. No? That light is to be there or not? Light and shadow is there in paintings as well. No? All that. What is that? The whole knitting. No? You unravel the knitting, what happens? Everything disappears. So the world is like this. You, I, some Ishvara, some Apara Shakti. All these you're conceived of. All this is your conception. What is really there? All this is experiential. You, the world, postulating in Ishvara. If you're postulating, understanding is different. You're postulating in Ishvara. Sat pratyaya kinnu vihaya santam. Can you see that? Without Sat, can all these things exist? You postulated a God of your understanding. It doesn't matter, God of your understanding. Your culture, your belief systems, your religion. Vedanta accepts all of that. It's not a problem at all. Okay? Vedanta doesn't say all religions are same. Vedanta doesn't even say all religions are equal. Vedanta says all religions are ways of relating to Ishvara. And therefore we accept them as valid. As long as you don't come and stand on my feet, I'm okay. You stand there, I stand here, we are fine. Yeah. You want to come and cut my throat? I know how to defend myself. Whether I'm armed or unarmed, no problems. Okay. Yeah. So you have all these ideas, fine. In Hinduism also we have different ideas, no? Bhagwan aisa hai, vaisa hai, not a problem. We can accept some more ideas. But there is an underlying understanding behind the whole thing. What? All this is nothing but Sat Pratyaya. That existence consciousness itself has manifested to become the whole thing. You are looking at the whole thing. I'm looking at the whole thing. Lord, your world is so huge and I am so small. One religious attitude. Another, Lord has sent me here. I'll take control and I will do everything. I will bend the world to my shape. Another aspect. Two extremes. Okay. Yeah. I'm the last word of God. I went to a place in Thana. Okay, as part of my social outreach. And there I found this guy sitting under a tree and saying, God has sent me to address you guys. And then I heard a voice from above, I have not sent him. It was a Tana mental asylum. There's one guy on the ground saying that, and another guy on the tree saying, I have not sent him. Kya karu? What do I do? And look at it. Samsaro yamativa vichitram. The samsara can be very strange. It's okay. You believe whatever you want to believe is okay. I have no quarrel with you on that. I understand that it's all what? Manifestation of the one consciousness. That's it. That's it. One existence consciousness manifests the whole thing. So because there is self-ignorance, there can be distortions in your perception of reality. Any experience of yours, whether you're an individual, whether you're a dacoit, whether you're a terrorist, whether you're a noble soul, whether you're a religious head, as all those notions will be tainted by self-ignorance. Until the self-ignorance goes, there's no perception of reality. Yeah. So the whole question is what? Remove the self-ignorance first and then look at what reality is. Then look at the reality and see what it is. Then you can conclude what you want. Yeah. Yeah. But all these people who taught, did they teach wrong? No. They taught depending on the people in front of him. Like there's a theory. Jesus came to India. He became a Himalayan yogi. And after he was resurrected, he came back to there's a grave in POK. There's a grave in POK where it is, the locals say is Yeshu, Christ, and Mother Mary, both are there. Both graves of both the people are there. What is the direction of a Christian grave? East, west? North, south?
No.
Huh?
Head towards the west.
Head towards the west, no?
Yeah.
That's what I said, east, west. Head towards the west. The Islamic is the other way around. So if you enter this tomb, no, from outside it looks Islamic because entrance is like that. But inside it is the other way around. So they hid the grave by presenting it as an Islamic grave. It is there.
It is in our Kashmir.
Huh?
It belongs to India.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, then if he was like that, why did he teach all this stuff? Arey Baba, he managed to teach. Who was his audience? Fisher folk. Huh?
Water, wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manifesting bread.
Yeah. All that is fine. Yeah. That's all that is. I'll accept it fully. No issues. But why did he teach like that? You put me, I am a Sampradaya with Acharya, I'll claim that. In front of fisher folk and all, what will I talk? I will not be able to say anything. At least he raised their vision. Nah. He did a good job. He talked in parables, that is a good job. Fine. I am fortunate. More lucky. I'm getting a good audience, I can speak the truth. I'm lucky here. So the difference is because of these factors. Truth is one. The truth is one. And what is that? One consciousness. That's it. Everything else unravels like the unraveling painting. What is there? One consciousness, everything else is painting. The seer, the scene, the world, the light in which it is in, all that is what? Nothing but existence consciousness. Illustrating the first verse with an example. That's why I said, the whole, this will explain that. Sat pratyaya kinna vihaya santam. How can you talk about anything without that existence consciousness? Whole thing is a manifestation of that. With an example, he's illustrating. After having given the logic, he's illustrating it with an example. Om Tat Sat.